He was intimidated into reading a version of his speech that didn't reflect who he is or what he believes. My 13-year-old son was intimidated into silence on what should have been one of the proudest days of his life.
In recent months, we've seen a troubling pattern of discrimination, censorship, and punishment directed at Muslim students and Palestinian students across Ontario.
We were called a-holes, ignorant immigrants, in front of the students and parents. My son's graduation was ruined. He went home in silence, and we were left shaken and disgusted.
What happens when the very place responsible for empowering young minds begins to silence them? And that is a story that brings us out here in Toronto today, where a family at a press conference is saying that this has gone too far and no parent should ever feel this way. Let's go take a look.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon all of you. Good afternoon. My name is Nadeem Sheikh. I'm a proud father, a community member, and someone who still believes that our schools should be places where young people are encouraged to speak truth with courage and compassion. A few weeks ago, my son graduated from grade 8. He was voted by his peers as valedictorian, something our whole family was proud of. He wanted to use that opportunity to speak about justice, about the importance of standing up for what's right, and yes, to speak about the suffering in Palestine. He wanted to remind his peers to be a voice for the voiceless. We worked on that speech together. His teacher took that speech and rewrote it, stripping out anything meaningful. No discussion, no consent, just censorship. When I asked if the original speech violated any school board policies, the answer was no. When I asked the principal why it was changed, I got a completely different excuse. The truth is, there was no good reason. Just fear. Fear of anything remotely political. And it was my son who paid the price. Later, the principal herself confronted my son and made sure he read the censored version. He was intimidated into reading a version of his speech that didn't reflect who he is or what he believes. My 13-year-old son was intimidated into silence on what should have been one of the proudest days of his life. And when I tried to ask questions respectfully, my wife and I were met with verbal threats, intimidation, and racist abuse right there in the school cafeteria. We were called a-holes, ignorant immigrants, in front of the students and parents. My son's graduation was ruined. He went home in silence, and we were left shaken and disgusted. Minister Calandra, I want to speak to you directly. Your refusal to lead on how schools should handle political expression hasn't created neutrality. It's created chaos. Educators are confused. Principals are improvising. And it's Muslim and Palestinian students who are paying the price for your silence. This isn't just a local issue. It's a systemic failure, and it's happening under your watch. This isn't neutrality. This is abandonment. Your silence has become complicity. My son wasn't being radical. He was being human. And if a 13-year-old boy can find the courage to speak up for justice, surely the Minister of Education can find the courage to defend his right to do so.
In the 2023-2024 school year, the Toronto District School Board recorded 2,155 incidents of racism, bias, and hate, with racism making up nearly 80% of all cases. That's a year-over-year jump of more than 6%, signaling a troubling upward trend.
In recent months, we've seen a troubling pattern of discrimination, censorship, and punishment directed at Muslim students and Palestinian students across Ontario. Whether it's a student disciplined for saying the word Palestine in a classroom, a graduation speech cut short, or a teacher unsure of whether they're even allowed to acknowledge a student's identity, what's clear is that this is not an isolated incident. This is systemic. Across Ontario, the message has been the same. Silence your identity, erase your culture, or face the consequences. And the Ministry of Education has done little to stop it. The provincial government's insistence on avoiding politics in the classroom has not created neutrality. It's created confusion. It's created fear. It has created an environment where teachers don't know whether they're allowed, what they're allowed to say, principals make arbitrary decisions, and students bear the brunt of this harm. Muslim students and Palestinian students are being pushed out, punished, and made invisible, simply for speaking about who they are. We also need the province to recognize that issues don't fix themselves. They require real action. When hate incidents happen in schools, whether it's Islamophobia, anti-Palestinian racism, anti-Semitism, anti-Black racism, or anti-Asian racism, we need clear and transparent ways to address them. Students and families deserve to know they'll be heard and protected. We've heard from parents. We've heard from educators. We've heard from students. And they're all saying the same thing. Enough is enough. Minister Calandra, the job of our education system is to not avoid hard conversations. It is to prepare students to engage with the world around them. This includes learning about injustice. This includes talking about Palestine. This includes protecting students when they're targeted and not staying silent when they're harmed. It's time for Minister Calandra to follow the recommendations of the Patrick Case Report and implement real measures that tackle hate in our schools head on.
Reporting from Toronto, Moiz Rahman for GTA Muslims Today. Inshallah, we'll see you in the next video.